Welcome back, everybody, to Lonato, and we're getting ready for the final race of this 2021 ROK Cup Superfinal, and it is the senior ROK final. This entry, another big entry. We've had two races. Well, this will be the second race today. About 68 drivers have been competing across the 3 days so far. Here is your grid for the final. Pietro Vagone starts on pole position. Pietro Protasevich on the front row as well. Michelina Sabai and Ricky Louis on row 2. Robert Soroka and Diego Stifter on row 3. Marco Felice and Daniele Federici are on row 4. Nolan Bauer and Lucas Bogdanovic are on row 5. Teresa Babichkova and Andrea Ladina on row 6. Franciszek Palmirski and Karol Chepiel on row 7. Ricardo Monti and Igor Leko are on row 8. Simone Deriu and Herman Ovenstad are starting this race from row 9. Matteo Zaffarano and Victor Martin Ordino on row 10. Daniele De Martis and Achlon Gabai are on row 11. Maxi Turillion and Alessio Dono are on row 12. Chan Senna and Adam Pizzchaco are on row 13. Marcin Sayak and Francesco Valentino Grimaldi start on row 14. Gianluca Savaglio and Mika Cicluna on row 15. Prezio Hardia, Federico Vecchio on row 16. Gabriele Fueme and Lorenzo Morsillo start the race on row 17. As I say, 34 qualifiers through to this senior ROK final. And Daniele, this is another one, because there's been so many of them, the heats have been full of trepidation for the drivers with perhaps the best pace that we saw in time qualifying earlier in the week on Thursday morning. And this is the result of that. The grid is quite mixed up, particularly in that midfield. There are some very, very quick drivers. I'm thinking Karol Chepiel starting on the 7th row of the grid. Andrea Ladina, who will... Well, I would not blame him if right now he's thinking back to 12 months ago when he was up at the higher reaches of the grid and the kart let him down at this point and he never got going properly in that race. Herman Ovenstad was very quick early on but had one bad heat. Alessio Dono as well. There were a lot of drivers here, similar to what we saw with the minis and the juniors earlier, who are going to want to race their way through this final. And it's a final, so anything could happen there.
Anything could happen, but maybe from all the categories like mini ROK, like junior ROK, that are mixed up because of that reason during the match, maybe this is the one where the overtake to pass to storming back to the grid is the most difficult one to do so. And that's the point. That's why who has been consistent, who has been every single match with his mind switched on and always paying attention to what's happening around him, maybe paying some points to stay there now, starting from the top of the grid. And that could be important. That could be the real difference maker, because sometimes you're not able to get back on top.
I mean, for example, Karol Chepiel, mentioned starting there on row 7, has 2 heat wins so far this week. It's obviously the third one that didn't go so well. Hence why he's starting there on the 7th row of the grid. Ovenstad was our pole position winner on Thursday morning. So this is, again, a really difficult race to call. I just think more difficult to call than, say, we saw with the juniors earlier, with a similar form of grid. It'll be 20 laps for the seniors. So they're patiently waiting for the green flag and the instruction to set off on the formation laps. I hope you're enjoying the coverage here. The 2021 ROK Cup Superfinal. If you're on YouTube and you haven't already, click that subscribe button. The notification bell as well. Your support is so invaluable to us all. And there is a problem straight away. The 267. That is Odin. That is Victor Martin Odin, who was due to start this race on the 10th row of the grid.
Oh, okay, he's got it.
It's not going again now, so hopefully he'll be able to retake his position.
Allora, vedremo la partenza di questa senior ROK, che alla pari di alcune categorie che abbiamo visto, come la mini, come la junior, è stata rimescolata un sacco da come sono andate le manche a gruppi incrociati. Forse c'è stata meno disciplina di quanto ci si potesse aspettare, però questo fa sì che Ragone, Protasiewicz, Sabai, Liu non siano lì per sbaglio tra le prime 4 posizioni, neanche Soroka, neanche Stifter. Però poi ci sono alcuni piloti giù per la griglia che potranno imbastire una rimonta, perché hanno dimostrato di essere molto veloci e sono indietro perché sono incappati in qualche situazione spiacevole per colpa loro o di altri. Penso a Ladina, penso a Siepel of course, penso a Pisciaco, ma anche Eliseo Donno, Teresa Babickova che parte in sesta fila proprio con la Ladina, quindi potrebbe essere una di quelle gare dove le carte si rimescolano continuamente.
So all of these drivers from 14 years of age and upwards. But something you said to me earlier in the week, Daniele, that the experience of this field was going to lend itself to more heads-up driving and less going for it all out in the heats. That wasn't the case, was it?
Yeah, I'm not good on that.
So we've already seen these drivers racing as if it's a final in the heats. Goodness knows what's going to happen over the next 20 laps, but we're here for it. We're waiting for it. We're waiting for the green light and the instruction for race director to go. We are go for 20 laps in the senior ROK final. Good start for Ragone at the front of the field, leading through the first few corners. 34 karts streaming towards turn 4 again, and so far looking pretty good. A couple of karts squirming under braking there into turn 4. Here they go into the first hairpin, a little bit deep from Ragone, but he's got a good run off turn 5. There's trouble for one of the Zanki Motorsport karts there, and there's damage for one of the other cars as well, actually, towards the back. It has been a little bit messy here in the seniors.
Offside touch with someone, and he's now rejoining at the end of the group.
Yeah, so
with Odin, I guess.
Yeah, Ovenstad out of this. Odin, we saw, had the problems on the, well, getting away from dummy grid. Ragone has control of this at the start of the race. Big send from driver going for third place there. We'll just confirm who that was. It was 2:36 going through, and it was Babickova. So that's a heck of a start from Teresa Babickova, up 8 positions. That's what was surprising me there. I was looking for the 2:36. It's like, well, that didn't start in the first 2 rows. Down the inside goes Sabai. Overshoots though. Ragone retakes the lead. What a start from Babickova though. Started on the 6th row of the grid, is already up to 3rd.
And oh, here he is, Babickova, 2nd place. And there is Rikyu Louis that made the exact opposite, started from the 2nd row and now it's down. They're fighting, and they're fighting hard since lap 1 for this victory. Ragone, Sabai and Babickova. Oh,
big damage for one of the karts on the back straight, or in the hairpins, sorry. It is the 212 and the 225s in trouble as well there. Grimaldi is out of the race. But what a start for Babickova. Has not had a lot of luck so far this week.
And Robert Soroka is out too.
Yeah. So Robert Soroka from Canada, who started on the 3rd row of the grid, is unfortunately no longer running as well. Nolan Bauer, I think, is out. Oh, this has been an awful race for Team Canada. Not the way they would have wanted their super final to finish.
That's for sure. E allora grande partenza della Senior ROK con Babickova che con uno scatto fulminante ha preso 10 posizioni in un amen. È arrivata a portarsi subito al comando delle operazioni. Adesso il sorpasso di Sabai su Ragone, che era partito bene ma si è trovato addosso subito Sabai, che gli scattava subito dietro, e Babickova che davvero ha indovinato tutto in partenza finale. Adesso prova anche a scappare Protasiewicz, Liu che sta risalendo le posizioni dopo una pessima partenza. Andrea Ladina, che partiva dalla stessa fila di Babickova, sta risalendo. È quello che abbiamo detto e siamo stati facili profeti. Anche Eliseo Donno sta tornando nella top 10.
These are crucial laps for Andrea Ladina. He is the fastest driver in the top 10 at the moment. He's in 6th place, but in traffic he needs to get past Louis, but I reckon he's got the pace to win this race. There he is in the Zanki Motorsport 209. He's already done better than 12 months ago when he had those technical issues that took him out of the race.
A lot of drivers from the back of the grid are getting up, like Fiume, like Argia, like Savaglio, like Eliseo Donno, of course. So there is the space to get back.
Ladina started on the 6th row of the grid. Won a heat yesterday. But Teresa Babickova and Michelina Sarai first and second place at the moment. Ragone there in third place. Fourth, fifth and sixth. Ladina's still holding there in sixth place. What is the pace like? It's not bad.
Morcillo retired.
And yeah, Morcillo is out of the race. But this work between Louis and Ladina, they are quicker than the leader at the moment. Fastest driver out there, and Sheffield's coming into it as well. Carol Sheffield, who started the week very well, and as we mentioned earlier, has 2 heat wins so far, but had to start this final from the 7th row of the grid. Sheffield's the fastest driver out there now. 48.610. Is that a move being looked at by Sheffield down the inside? I think it is, and yes, makes it stick on Ricky Louis.
And even Federici is trying to get past through. 5 giri trascorsi, anzi ormai 5 e mezzo, con Babičková che guida davanti a Sabai e Aragone. Il caos è dietro, Protasiewicz, Ladina, poi il lungo gruppo con Liu Siepel che adesso ha scavalcato il pilota cinese, poi Federici, Bodanovic, sono tutti molto vicini. Il più veloce in pista la scorsa tornata è stato Karol Siepel in 48,6. Vediamo se qualcuno fa meglio in questa tornata. No, lo fa lui di nuovo, 48,6, senza però superare. Arriva Gabriele Fiume, ecco, con il giro record in 48,606. Però intanto Siepel ha recuperato altre 2 posizioni. Adesso la classifica dice Babičková, Sabai, Ragone, Ladina, Siepel, Protasiewicz, Federici.
If you're Carol Sheffield in this position, I think there's an opportunity here to play some very strong tactics and work with Andrea Ladina. You're the 2 quickest drivers out there on circuit. There's plenty of time to go. 13 laps after this one. You've got a bit of space ahead of you. And Ragone is isolated on his own at the moment. You can pick him off with relative ease. And I think that is what they're doing. This is good. This is proper finals karting now in this longer race format, especially in the seniors, using all their experience as they come through the ranks, through cadets, through minis, through juniors. This is one of their biggest races of the year. Babičková and Sabai will be aware of that as well. They won't start banging wheels with one another at this stage. It's still way too long to go in this race to start doing that. And in fact, no, through, they've changed. Yeah, Sheffield's gone through. Yeah. Now that is a sign of confidence for Carol Sheffield to go, no, I want to go through. I have the pace to catch these drivers ahead on my own. And he's doing so. That's a big first sector, 19.1. That is 1.5 tenths quicker than pretty much everybody ahead. This is just coming to the boil nicely here.
Maybe who's working together to get away is Babičková and Sabai.
Yeah, they're
not
to.
interfering between themselves, and they try to get the space from Ragone and anybody else. That's some gear powered here.
Yeah, if they want to win this race, it is way too early here on lap 9 to start fighting over the lead, because there are a set of drivers behind hounding them down. There's the 244 of Ricky Louis, who got past Daniele Federici on that last lap.
And you see what we said before, Siepel, Ladina, Babičková started very well, and they are there fighting for the top position. But for example, Donno, for example, Fiume, they started very, very back in the grid.
Yeah.
And they recover a little bit, but now it's hard to be there in the top 10 or in the top 5.
My goodness me, the pace from Carol Sheffield is eye-watering. 48.273. That was on his own 4 tenths quicker than the 2 leaders. He is charging along here. And we did wonder whether we'd have the chance. It was all about the start and getting through from the 7th row of the grid. There's the 257 of Federici.
Yeah.
Not out of a chance for a trophy here.
Smart from Ladina to stay there, right beside Siepel, because they both get to Ragone now, and probably if this is the pace, probably they're gonna to pass him very easily in the next few corners.
I'm afraid so. If you're Pietro Ragone, we're in the second half of the race now. And Andrea Ladina did a 48.280. So yeah, both Sheffield and Ladina. Ladina with the benefit of the toe on the long straights, particularly running down from the last corner and all the way to turn 4.
10 giri al termine, adesso 10 trascorsi per questo assegno a ROK che chiude il programma di queste Superfinal. Lì davanti Teresa Babickova e Michalina Sabai. Pietro Ragone adesso sotto assedio con Sieppel e Ladina che sono arrivati a cercare di soffiargli il terzo gradino del podio e chissà di provare a mettersi alla rincorsa di Sabai e Babickova. È passato a Sieppel, vediamo adesso se Ladina ne ha per scavalcare anche lui Pietro Ragone e proseguire la cavalcata insieme al polacco che finora ha dimostrato un passo gara invidiabile. Adesso ha girato in 48,7 come Sabai e Babickova lì davanti, ma ci ha messo dentro il sorpasso a Ragone. Allora iniziamo a vedere il primo riferimento cronometrico. Sieppel già scappa via da Ragone, mentre adesso Ladina deve provare a sorpassare in fretta. Attacco qui alla S di Ladina che prende, passa e va su Ragone. Sieppel and Ladina pass through Ragone.
Had to do that move. He had to do that move if you're Andrea Ladina, because Cepiel was starting to pull away. And Karol Cepiel just needs to keep things nice and loose, nice and easy. Don't overdrive the car. There's still 8 laps of this to go. That's the full length of a, pretty much the full length of a heat. And the gap is 1 second to Sabai, head there in second place. I've got to say, Babickova and Sabai, I know they're being caught, but they're doing a brilliant job at the front here. They're playing this very wisely, and they're still on for very good positions and still have a chance of winning this race. Best lap goes in from Karol Cepiel, 48.273. That was a few laps ago. 48.4 last time around. We're on lap number 13. Teresa Babickova just taking a slightly wider line there. We have seen that be a feature of particularly the second hairpin. Drivers preferring to run a little bit wider, get some more speed off the corner. Another lap ticks by and Karol Cepiel closes again. 0.5 is now the gap. He's halved the gap to Sabai on that last lap. So at that rate, he's going to have caught the 2 drivers ahead in the next couple of laps. And Ladina's still there as well in the 2.09, putting the ghosts of 2020 to rest with this kind of performance. There's his teammate Daniele Federici.
Penso che ci siamo. Babickova, Sabai sempre più vicine a Sieppel, o meglio Sieppel sempre più vicina a loro due, con Ladina e Ragone che non sono riusciti esattamente a tenere il passo di Sieppel, ma in queste tornate però si stanno avvicinando a loro volta, anche perché se inizia la bagarre è possibile che anche i 2 piloti italiani, soprattutto Ladina, rientrino nel mucchio. Si guarda alle spalle Sabai, sente arrivare Sieppel e sa che probabilmente adesso deve fare un extra lavoro per cercare di rientrare là. Now we are here. Sieppel is arrived.
Cepiel has caught Sabai. Can he find a way through? He's gone for it into turn 14. That's second place. A really good move from Karol Cepiel. Has a check over the shoulder, sees the move is done, now sets about Teresa Babickova. 5 laps to go here in the Senior ROK Final for the 2021 ROK Cup Super Final. Renato has served up some brilliant races, but this is one of the best yet. So tense out there, so much riding on the line, so unpredictable as well.
And that's the point so far with Sieppel. He just doesn't allow you to answer back to his overtake. So even this time, Sabai was overtaken, try to understand where she could answer back, but of course Sieppel is just got away and now is closing on Babickova.
Andrea Ladina hasn't given this one up either, and neither should he. There's a chance of a top 3 at least here, but the top 2 stretching away. Ladina, you feel, being held up a little bit at the moment by Sabai, but she's perfectly within her own rights to play that game and push as hard as possible. She's not just going to jump out the way and let Ladina through because Ladina has come from further behind.
Ladina sempre più vicino a Sabai che Adesso cerca disperatamente di difendere la terza posizione, molto vicino anche ormai Siepel a Babicova. Adesso che passa... Oh, Babicova un po' larga. E allora subito prova a infilarsi Siepel, incrociano le traiettorie i due piloti, Babicko va a proteggere l'interno all'ultima curva prima del rettifilo, ma esce più veloce Siepel al comando davanti a Babicova, Ladina e Sabai.
Carol Sheppiel has come from 14th on the grid and leads the Senior ROK final with 3 laps to go. That was superbly done. Got Babicova off the racing line and was just patient there. Flicked it back and forth. Got the run out of the final corner. Ladina is there in 3rd place now. Similarly, put a great move in to get past Michalina Sabai. 2 more laps after this one. Still not over. Carol Sheppiel has the lead.
Adesso vediamo se Ladina ha il ritmo per andare a prendere Babicova e soprattutto ha modo di sorpassarla in fretta per provare a frapporsi lui alla vittoria di Carol Siepel, che fa segnare un ottimo giro, 2 decimi più veloce del gruppo che gli sta dietro in 48,5, 48,8 Babicova, 48,7 per Ladina e Sabai. Ladina deve provare a superare Babicova se vuole avere una chance di vittoria, ma il tempo inizia a stringere perché siamo a metà ormai praticamente del penultimo giro. Siepel sta scappando, Babicova in modalità ultra difensiva su Ladina e Sabai.
Penultimate lap of the race. Sheppiel has pulled away here. This is the battle for 2nd place now. Babicova still holding the position ahead of Ladina and Sabai. Goes defensive into turn 14. Ladina down the inside. Gets through. Gets into 2nd place. And we're on to the final lap now. Carol Sheppiel, if he checks over his shoulder, will see that he has a lead of nearly a second over Ladina, who has raced through
in just 2 laps.
Raced through with him. Teresa Babicova still there in 3rd. Into turn 5 they go. And Ladina's going to have to defend here because I think there's going to be an attack coming soon from Teresa Babicova. But Carol Sheppiel, I have to say, has been the fastest driver in this class so far. But being seniors, it is never an easy job. He had the unfortunate 2nd heat where he got taken out, finished in the lower reaches. That's what put him lower down the order on the grid. But from 14th on the grid, Carol Sheppiel comes around the final corner and wins the Senior ROK final. He is 2021 Senior ROK Cup Super Final champion. And we've seen some great drives here today, Daniele, but the best was left to the last race. What an unbelievable performance. Yeah. And Poland have another win in the Super Final.
Yeah, that's just brilliant. With patience, with his pace, every single time Siepel put his target on the next driver, passes and never watch back. Was absolutely amazing. A good job from Siepel. There is the Senior Super Final 2021 champion for this ROK Super Final Cup. And here he is with the champion, Carol Siepel. Good job from Andrea Ladina too, of course, in the 2nd place, up 10 positions from the start. And Teresa Babicova too. It leads like 3/4 of the games. It wasn't enough, but she started in the same row as Ladina and she's on the podium.
Just look at that car. Look how hard it's worked. Look at the status of those tyres after 20 laps from Andrea Ladina. Teresa Babicova, and there's been so much bad luck for the Babicova family. I think back to 2020 when they were, you know, Petra was in a good position in her final as well. To see Teresa get in the top 3, that's absolutely fantastic. Michalina Sabai in 4th. Pietro Ragone started from pole position in 5th place. Praise the cards. Always praise the card. That's very good stuff from Carol Sheppiel. And, well, he will say that, you know, it was the team, and it was, you know, the team effort from Zanki Motorsport, from KJT Motorsport, apologies, you know, was a big part of that. But you've still got to pedal the thing. You've still got to put the laps in, and that was a really special drive from Carol Sheppiel. Let's just run down the rest of the order. In 6th place, you had Daniele Federici, Pietra Protasevich, finishes in 7th. Ricky Louis, another good result for Team China there in 8th place. Gianluca Savalio. Well, that was a bit of a drive that went under the radar. Apologies, Gianluca. Up 20 positions to 9th place. Yeah. That'll do. Marco Felice in 10th. Riccardo Monti in 11th. Matteo Zaffarano in 12th. Prasetio Hadja in 13th place, Ahlon Gabai in 14th place, Gabriele Fremi in 15th place. All of those drivers coming from the back there. Igor Leko in 16th. Lucas Bogdanovic has had a really good week, finishes in 17th place in a very competitive final. Franciszek Palmierski in 18th place, Daniele De Martis 19th, Federico Vecchio 20th, Sayak, Chicluna, Stifter, Piszczako, Deru, Senna, Dono. We're into the drivers that retired now. Herman Ovenstad, Morsillo, Soroka, Bauer. Really tough race for the Canadians there. 3 drivers all out of the race before it really even got going. Grimaldi, Torillon and Odin. That's his order in the Senior Rock Final. Just going through, there's a thumbs up there. Still got to go through all the regulations, make sure everything is legal, but that is it. That is confirmed. What a drive, and what a effort from Karol Chapiel. A really special win.
Davvero grande vittoria allora per Karol Chapiel, che è riuscito a mettersi giù testa bassa e a recuperare 13 posizioni dalla 14ª alla vittoria, alla bandiera a scacchi presa per primo davanti ad Andrea Ladina e a Teresa Babičková, entrambi autori di una grande rimonta. Anche loro partivano dalla stessa fila, dalla sesta fila, e Babičková con una partenza fulminante si è trovata subito lì, si è messa a guidare praticamente per la maggior parte della gara al comando, e poi però sia per le Ladina sono arrivati inesorabili.
That's it. 2021 ROK Cup Superfinal is over here for another year. Thank you very much to all the staff at South Garda Karting. And we'll have a look at the highlights from the Senior ROK Final just before we clock off. So, very dramatic start. A lot of drivers really going for it, and Teresa Babičková had the most incredible start. The 203 of Herman Ovenstad was an early faller. Our pole position award winner from earlier in the week was not to have a good final. The 248 of Michalina Sabai. Fantastic start, but here came Teresa Babičková out of nowhere, really. Started herself on the 6th row of the grid. One of the best starts that we've seen this week. But a story started to emerge of 2 drivers coming through the field. Andrea Ladina, also on the 6th row of the grid, and Karol Chapiel on the row behind. They were just working their way through one by one, picking off the drivers, working together, with Babičková and Sabai also working together at the front of the field. They got up to 3rd and 4th, and this is where the pressure really started to ramp up for Babičková and Sabai at the front of the field, and you felt the inevitable was coming. There it was, 2nd place for Chapiel with some 5 or 6 laps to go, and then the Polish driver set about taking the lead with a beautifully done set of switchbacks here with Babičková. Great to see 2 drivers giving each other plenty of racing room, and this run out of the final corner gave Karol Chapiel the lead, and he never looked back. So Andrea Ladina went down the inside, took 2nd place. And Karol Chapiel became the 2021 Senior ROK Cup Superfinal champion with a drive from 14th place on the grid. And silence falls over Leonardo. Daniele, it's been an absolutely fantastic week. How do you sum that one up, if you can?
It's very hard to do so, because we passed through a lot of manches, a lot of hits, and they were just everyone is different from another. We saw a lot of comebacks, we saw a lot of fights, we saw a lot of dominant wins, and we saw that even today. Today was the peak, of course, was the best day we could possibly have for the super final, and so I'm so happy that I was here to tell everybody else in the world how that's going.
Well, as I say, big thanks to the South Garda Karting staff and crew here for laying on such a fantastic venue for us to come to and compete over 4 days of racing and the testing beforehand. I said that there's been some teams who've been here for the best part of 2 weeks. Big thanks to the team who've put on the stream today, and all the
ROK
cameramen.
staff.
And they've been absolutely fantastic. As you say, the ROK staff as well, and all the team from OTK. And thank you to all of you at home as well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for all the teams and the drivers and the parents and the mechanics.
And thank you, Andrew.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Daniele. Thank you once again for all your help this week. That's it. That's it, everybody. 2021 ROK Cup Super Final will be one that will definitely live in the memory, and we hope to see you very, very soon back for the ROK Cup Italy season next year and your national championships all over the world, and then back again for 2022 ROK Cup Super Final. From everyone here at Lenato, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and goodbye.